Alright. It's a video game show. It's a video game show. It's not a game show about videos. It's a video game show.
Welcome to the GamerCast Network video game show for Friday, June 1st, 2007. This is episode number 40. I'm Chad, and this week for the roll call, when I say your name, tell me the game you never played, but you always wanted to.
Well, that's easy for me.
And joining me this evening is Keith.
Titan Quest.
Okay, if Titan Quest wasn't an option.
Neverwinter Nights 2, because I bought it when it came out, and it's been sitting on my computer stand waiting for a computer that is able to run it.
Ivan?
I actually have never played Counter-Strike.
You want to hear all the kids bitch at you and call you a cheater and a hacker?
I don't know. Everyone says how good it is.
He would suck. He wouldn't be called a cheater or a hacker. Who are you kidding?
I'd be called Tsuxor.
Also, Tom?
I've never played God of War, and everyone raves about that, so I guess that's something that I should
play.
be. Yeah.
Yeah, you really
That's what I've
should
been
play
told.
it.
Bob?
Half-Life.
You never played Half-Life?
Nope. Never touched
Wow.
the damn thing.
Damn,
Because
even I
when
played
it came out, I
Half-Life.
never had a computer that could run it. I guess I could go back now and play it, but yeah, I never had Half-Life.
Why bother now?
You guys all choose new games. Man, I always go for the throwback ones. I was going to actually say one of the games I never played was the old LucasArts Maniac Mansion game.
Oh, yeah, Maniac Mansion.
That game never interested me. I don't like games when you can't kill things.
Okay, I was big into adventure games. I liked all the LucasArts Scum games, which was the Indiana Jones, the Full Throttle, those kind of games. I just never played Maniac Mansion, and I always hear good things about it. And around the GamerCast Network, be sure to check out Uncle Gamer Radio episode number 33, where they talk a little bit about the longevity of the Nintendo Wii. And go check out Gamertag Radio episode number 102, where Godfrey interviews Patrick Gilmore from EA about Medal of Honor Airborne. And be on the lookout for a new episode of Podtacular.
Next topic.
Okay, first up on the list. Tom, do you want to do your little thingy spiel now? Yes, you have to.
Okay, yeah, so Kirby Dancer over at the GamerCastNetwork.com forums, the very observant Kirby Dancer watched the credit scroll in Shadowrun. Now, who watches the credit scrolls in video games is beyond me. But anyways, yes, my name was in there because for the last 3 months, the reason I wasn't on the podcast was because I was helping get Shadowrun out the door. So there you go.
I thought your secret was safe for all of eternity. I never thought anyone in a million years other than us would look through the credits to try and find your name.
I was just going to say, we went and saw Shrek 3, and I missed Bob's name in the credits. So I have to go back to see it again so I can see his name and go, there he is!
But now that you've been outed, can you comment at all about what it was like to work on a game in quote-unquote crunch time?
In the past, we've all read those magazine articles about just what it's like being at a studio right before the game ships and goes to retail. And so I kind of had a mental image in the back of my head that it was going to be, high pressure all night long, just, a death march. And that wasn't entirely true. It was very long hours. We were putting 10, 12-hour days plus weekends. But it was actually a lot of fun. People at FASA were definitely top talent people. I mean, all in the game industry for a really long time. So it was great to be around this collection of people who all love games. When they're not working on making games, they're all talking about playing games over games of Magic the Gathering. It's a big nerdgasm is what it is, really. I was on the compliance team, and we were concerned about things like compliant with Microsoft security standards and compliant with Xbox 360 certification and compliant with Games for Windows certification. With Xbox, there's hundreds of test cases to be certified. Some of them are just really non-technical. I mean, some of them are just like, what happens when we unplug the controller in the middle of the game? And what happens when we plug it back in? And then some of them are like, use a packet capture application and capture all the data stream and then parse through it looking for whether or not your voice traffic is being encrypted or not encrypted. And, it goes from very technical to very non-technical, which I enjoyed. I really like that.
So now, what are you off to now, young Mr. Miss?
Because I was on the certification team, and Shadowrun has obviously passed certification because it's on the store shelves, my contract with FASA was over, and I ended up landing on the Zune team. Soon. I'm completely into this digital media world now. Death to the iPod.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Let me know how that works for you.
Next topic.
So, Tom, what are you and FAFSA hearing about the gaming community's reaction to Shadowrun?
Users like it. People who are playing it love it. Mitch always was saying this. He's like, we need to get this into people's hands. He says, critics are going to ream us. This isn't going to be a game for the critics. It's going to be a game for the players. And if you just get it to the players, they'll love it.
My thing with it so far is, if it's a shooter, I don't want it for the console. And it's only for Vista.
But I tell you what, it's the best shooter on the console.
I don't know. I played the beta, and I'm sure the full version's better than the beta, but you at least get the gist of it in the beta. And I still think it's a far cry from like Rainbow Six Vegas.
Well, it's also a fast-paced game, isn't it?
It is fast-paced. Yeah, it's very hectic. But it's also tactical because it's really important to communicate. I mean, a lot of kids have been saying this is like, I always hate it when people talk in games. I never talk in games, but in this game, you have to communicate because you have to be in the right spot. When someone picks up the flag, you got to be moving in the right direction.
Yeah, see, this sounds like a game you would really like.
Yeah, because I think Counter-Strike is that way, where it's based a lot on teamwork and communicating. And
also, Tom, I'm hearing people saying that groups who are well coordinated are just all doing one class and like chain gunning everybody.
That'll end real soon as people learn the powers. I was
about to say, normally as people learn to use the other class, whichever one's the easiest to use is the first one that everybody jumps on board with.
In terms of game balance and tweaking out the classes and the weapons, we brought in, even while I was there, they were bringing in professional Halo teams, professional Counter-Strike teams that were money winners at big leagues and tournaments, and we would pit them against each other. And then afterwards, we'd all get into one room and then just basically debrief them and say, what did you think? Just try to get as much feedback as we can from these people that, think about this kind of thing, not professionally, but way too much that's than what's helpful.
Well, like I said, it seems like a game that would be right up your alley, but this sounds too Unreal Tournament, Quake for me. I'm more into the tactical stuff than the Twitch stuff.
Well, this can be tactical because there are so many roles that you can play. You can't win by doing Rambo. You really can't. This really is a team game.
If you're in a well-coordinated team, which is not going to happen on public servers.
Well, that was the same. I just remember Battlefield 2 was... I know it's not the same kind of game, but if you had a bunch of people that wanted to go Rambo, your team never won. You had to pretty much work in a group and coordinate or you'd lose.
Yeah, and this game's the same way. You're going to have to coordinate.
But in all honesty, Tom, you say it's a good game?
On the 360, I think it's a great game.
Next topic.
Titan Quest Memorial Day Weekend Extravaganza.
Maybe we should set up for the listeners here what Titan Quest exactly is.
It's Diablo 2.
It's Diablo 2.5.
In Greece.
Okay, so Titan Quest is a point-and-click RPG Diablo-like game from
Been out for a while.
Iron War.
Action RPG is the
action RPG.
If you like Diablo 2, you will like Titan Quest.
And it's an older game. It's like $20.
It's not even that old. It came out like mid-2006. It's less than a year old.
Yeah, but for video games, it's already gone through its cycle, and a lot of people have already moved on.
It didn't get a lot of publicity about it.
Well, actually, I distinctly remember Tom saying, this is a game that is very good and had no publicity because it was up against yada, 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 so...
Well, another funny observation is that we all fell into our usual types. Like, Ivan was the bow guy, and Bob was the meat shield guy, and I played the summoner who just summoned a bunch of stuff and then stood in the corner so I didn't have to keep clicking on everything and
stared at his gear, trying to optimize his gear while the rest of us are fighting.
I plowed all of my points into a pet that I named Chauncey. He's a core dweller.
I just created an Earth guy, and I have the core dweller thing now, and I nicknamed my guy Chewy.
You guys want to pull out pictures and compare? Oh, here's my Chewy. This is right after I summoned him. Here he is about 2 hours later. You can see, he just grows up so fast.
In my bow guy, I have 2 wolves that I summon, and I named them Cheech and Chong.
Yeah, I normally make a healer guy, but again, I can't play the game, so I'm...
I'll take up your slack from now on. I'm making a new guy, which is going to be a healer kind of fighter.
You going to make a healer dream guy?
Cool. See, that wouldn't be exact. See, Oot is pretty much as pure healing as healing can be purified. Anytime we have a game like that and Bob and I are playing it, Bob is the whirling fists of death, and I am just his battery pack.
The first time I had played, Bob and I were playing, and I said, now, Bob, I have a healing spell. but I don't want you to rely upon me to heal you because I am horrible at remembering to watch your hit points and to heal you when you're low. Because you will die if you rely on me to heal you.
Next topic.
I was amused by like everyone, because the thing is absolutely every single person had technical problems except for me this time. So it was just like I would get in, and Bob was like, "Oh God, my computer! I need a box fan."
That was more of a graphics card problem than it was. I mean, that stupid thing's just a beast. I don't know if I'd blame Titan Quest specifically for that.
I was going to say, so I had a problem, which I thought was due to my old computer, and I was getting goofy graphical artifacts and translucent menu screens and blocky text, and Bob suggested that it was probably my video card probably overheating, since both him and Tom had seen that issue. So now I have my entire side of my case of my computer off with a large
Welcome to the club.
13-inch oscillating fan sitting in front of it, blowing cold air the entire time at it.
Honeywell 7-inch turbo right here, baby.
Yeah.
Can't do no better.
It doesn't prevent the problem. I can play it for about an hour at a time. And actually, since the case is off, I can actually, touch the video card. And it is, when I'm running Titan Quest, if I put my hand on it, it's actually...
You'd fry an egg on that.
Yeah, it's just slightly too hot to touch.
You need creative ways to heat your house. You'll like this one.
You go.
You're looking for alternate methods to cook your breakfast. May I suggest?
Titan Quest. May I make a suggestion? Just get like a plate of ice and put it behind the fan.
I thought of that, and
It
then
seriously will make a difference. I'm not even joking. It
I
will
thought
make
of that, but then I thought, well, all of that moisture blowing into my electronically controlled PC might not be a great idea.
I don't see what you're getting at.
It's a plate of ice, it's frozen moisture, and by you blowing that frozen moisture into your computer, I would think that would not be good. That would be like getting a spray bottle of ice water and cooling off your PC by spraying it down.
Sounds good to me.
What's the worst that can happen?
I could have a non-working PC. I could get electrocuted. That would probably be the worst thing.
Could you set up a video camera before you do video game related death? BGS's own Christopher Ivan.
Next topic.
So yes, Titan Quest makes the inside of your computer like the core of the sun, but the trade-off is Titan Quest looks beautiful. When you walk over these gorgeous waterfall vistas, are just unbelievably gorgeous.
Yes, make all that shine happen so you can crash my video card, which in turn crashes my character for some reason, causing some unknown bug, which wipes out all my quests.
Chad's had some problems.
Chad needs a big fat piece of shattered dream pie.
But let's not take away from this game was that quality assurance is really important, and that's why I take my job at FASA very seriously after playing Titan Quest. We were running a raid in, I can't remember, we were playing one of the main bigger bosses of the game. My brother had cast out like a big specter that you can get if you're the necromancy class. It's a time-limited creature, and it's supposed to go away after 60 seconds or something. And he just stuck around, and we're like, hey, look, the guy's still here. And the thing is, because it's a summoned creature that's there for only a limited amount of time, it's incredibly powerful, but now we have it all the time, so we were just plowing forward in the quest, and we affectionately dubbed him Quincy, the quality assurance failure.
Aren't you supposed to go away? I got nothing better to do. I guess I'll stick around and annihilate all these enemies.
If you guys don't mind, I'll hang.
I'm cool. Did you bring the Heineken? Oh. Maybe this guy has it. No, maybe this guy has it.
Next topic.
So Valve with Team Fortress 2 is going to have the option where the levels are not going to be static, rather they're going to be dynamic.
Because I can't memorize them, and when the levels are random, I can actually do okay.
It might not be totally random. It might just be certain parts of it will change, like where there were critical paths or choke points might change from playthrough to playthrough.
Whatever, anything. Throw me a bone.
It's from Valve, so I'm very optimistic about it without ever having touched it. Traditionally in first-person shooters, a big distinguishing factor between what makes you good and what makes you not good.
Yeah, it's not skill, but their memorization of the map.
Yeah, map knowledge is a big key. to being good at so many first-person shooters. And I've always liked that. I mean, that's something I've always taken advantage of.
But wouldn't that actually show more skill if you were better at a level that actually is dynamic and changing around?
Yeah. Like I said, that I'm looking forward to this.
And it may actually even make me want to play a first-person shooter. At least I'm very turned off by the fact if I go to play a game and like I round a corner and there is the guy just sitting there teed up, because on that map that's the choke point where everyone can go, and while you're just trying to figure out how to play the game, you're getting shot in the face.
Yeah.
It's just annoying as hell, and that's part of the reason why I'm so turned off from first-person shooters. It's because I'd rather have the game be based on skill than the fact that you just have sat there for countless hours memorizing a map.
Well, there are facets of the first-person shooter community that are skill-based in terms of when you're in a league, like when I was in a Day of Defeat league, you're going to have 12 people in a game who all already have the map memorized. And so now it comes down to, okay, everyone already has the same map knowledge. Now it does come down to skill and team strategy. My hope is, and this is just wishful thinking perhaps, but I'm hoping with this new dynamic levels in Team Fortress 2 that it will foster a spirit of team play much more. People are going to use the voice communication. People are going to play their roles, because Team Fortress Classic was very class-based.
I'm looking at the trailer again. I'd buy this game just on looks alone. It looks phenomenal. I can't wait for this to come out now that I even know they're going to implement stuff like this.
Bob, go to youtube.com/mcfragslot and take a look at the old Team Fortress 2 trailers.
Yeah, for the listeners, for the kids out there who probably haven't been paying attention, Team Fortress 2 was announced. How many years ago was this damn game supposed to come out?
It won Best of E3 in 1999 or 2000.
I remember they announced it right around when I was graduating from college, and that was in 2000.
But you know what? When Chad and I first saw those, though, we were wowed, because we were like, wow, it's going to be a realistic first-person military-based modern first-person shooter.
That's funny, dude.
Next topic.
I guess Blizzard is trying to take on Peons for Hire, which is a in-game gold spammer.
Oh, thank you, God, for trying to get rid of those.
That bad, huh?
Oh, you cannot play the game for longer than, and I'm not exaggerating at all, you cannot go more than 60 seconds without someone spamming you for buying gold.
In the latest patch, they have tried some technical countermeasures.
And it is working, but you still get some of it.
Well, I guess now Blizzard is trying to target Peons for Hire and all the entities and sites they control and telling them to stop the in-game activity, and if they keep going on, they're going to file lawsuits and do some real legal action.
No, you know what's going to happen? They're going to force it underground. It's going to be like a drug cartel, and you're going to have WoW gangs, and they're going to have violent fights in the streets of Shanghai, and they're going to ride motorcycles of all the same color.
Were you watching Akira or something?
I think they should go like old school MUDs used to, where you can't message somebody unless you've like met them.
But yeah, that to me is just an inherent flaw in the game. You should be able to turn off all chatting
If you want to.
Yeah, except for like
within
tells.
your group or something.
Yeah.
Like your group, we're doing this quest. I don't want to hear from anybody except like those people on my friends list, just in case somebody I know logs on.
Wait, that option isn't even in there? You can't even do that?
No.
Nope. You cannot do that.
There's your problem solved right there. Filters.
Yeah, but they'll never fly, because we're not looking at the perspective of the kids who are younger than us that do go on try to chat with other people. And,
yeah. I mean,
but how easy is that to implement? Implement a filter to turn off everything.
A lot of people play the game as a social game, and part of the game experience for you is being able to chat with 10,000 people that you don't know and maybe find a new buddy or whatever. So turning off that filter doesn't help you at all. It ruins the game experience for you.
Yeah, if little Timmy plays the game and he wants to go chat with people and find sexual predators and such, and that's what he does.
He should have that option.
No, but seriously, he's paying just as much as everybody else. He should have the option to be able to chat with whomever he wishes without being harassed by spamming people.
Well, on the same side, if I'm paying that much money like everyone else, I should have the option to turn everything off so I don't hear a peep.
I'm not arguing that.
Right. I know it's going to happen already, because somehow, somewhere, Blizzard's going to already have that feature, and it might be buried, and someone's going to go on the forums and say, there you guys go again, talking about crap you don't know.
And if it is a feature, then they need to make it more accessible. Everybody I know that's even played the game and has been playing the game since day one, no one knows how to do this.
I don't think gold farming can be solved from a programming perspective. I don't think you're going to get a filter. You have to do it from economics. You have to kill the economy and make it not worthwhile for the gold farmers.
You're absolutely right, because if there's a way for them to make money off of it, if there's a way for it to be profitable, you can bet your bottom yen that they're going to do that.
Next topic.
When World of Warcraft first came out, I always thought that was an issue. It was like, it will take you 6.5 months to earn 3 gold. And I thought, what?
Actually, no, not at all. Pretty much like most of the games, when you hit a certain level, gold really does just come raking in. The other day, Todd and I played for, I'd say, about 2.5 hours, and I made like 190 gold. Not doing anything crazy, just playing the game and selling items that I wouldn't use and that kind of thing.
Actually, that goes back to something like in Titan Quest. When you first start playing Titan Quest, it's hard to get money. But once you get to the point, like Bob, didn't you discover you had $1.8 million and you didn't know?
Yeah, I earned $1 million on accident the other day. It's just like, you find so much crap and then you just sell it. It's like that with every game. The first guy through is always the toughest. And then once you have a guy who has a bunch of money and you can give it to all your other characters, then you're fine. And then you don't even need it anymore.
But as long as it's going to take time to do something, that's like the whole power leveling services. Whereas I look at people that buy power leveling services like they're morons, because isn't the point of buying the game is to play it and have fun?
Well, I'm sympathetic to that because grinding sucks. And I would rather go on and
I'd rather they didn't have grinding in the damn games. You shouldn't have to grind to level your guy.
Story.
I mean, because honestly, the only thing that's really engaging about RPGs in general is the progression of your guy. The combat is usually trivial, and what you're really doing half the time is like, all right, well, I need this kind of gear, and then when I level, I'll be able to use this, put the skill points into this, and with this sword, I'm going to be sweet. That's what's engaging, and when you introduce grinding into that, when it takes you 5 months to gain 1 level and improve your guy by like 0.003%, it stops being fun.
Next topic.
There's a class action lawsuit going on in Florida which is trying to target IGE. And their argument here is that IGE is farming limited resources in the game and causing economic damages.
Yeah, that's not gonna fly because they've tried to do that before with other things.
Other games aren't the 79th most populous country in the universe.
Oh, that is a very good point.
But people have tried this before.
That was the whole big to-do with Final Fantasy. The farmers basically decimated the economy. Unless you bought gold, you couldn't purchase something.
Final Fantasy, if you didn't know this, the economy, all of the trading was based entirely off of the user generated economy. Like everybody, the trade skills made the gear that you bought, and so everything was sold in an auction house, so the prices could get inflated very easily with gold farming.
One question here, though, I've seen this come up a couple times, is what would your guys take on Blizzard getting rid of these secondary gray markets by actually doing it themselves, rather than go to IGE?
That's what Sony did, remember?
Well, Sony isn't selling you items directly. They're just providing an eBay-type service to allow...
But still, I mean, at least they can monitor what's going on, you know what I mean?
The fundamental problem is that IGE is in China. Are you going to be able to convince Beijing that it's not within their interest to have companies on their shores selling gold?
You know what? They made
inside of a American video game.
They made the choice to sell the game to China, taking that risk, and they did it anyway. Now they're complaining. It's like, what the hell do you think?
Yeah, pretty much. If you sell a game to China, you know that farming is.
If you go outside your national borders where your laws have any enforcement, I mean, unless you got a really good lawyer from China,
that's have your own private army.
Next topic.
I never played World of Warcraft to the point of doing PvP. Is PvP in World of Warcraft very fun? Is it fun to watch? I guess is the more important question.
MMO fights generally are not fun to watch. Like, the things that are fun to watch, in my opinion, are like a Counter-Strike match or an Unreal Tournament match or something where there's action.
But is there really that much action or Twitch skill in a WoW PvP match?
And that's the thing I always found funny when people are trash talking with PvP in World of Warcraft and that. There's no skill involved. You're just pressing buttons in a sequence of, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's all you're doing. It's based on what gear you have, is honestly how good you are at PvP.
Well, the thing here was that CBS is going to air some tournaments from the World Series of video games, and one of the video games on the list is World of Warcraft.
Now, I think that's intelligent because, again, it's the, 93rd biggest population in the world.
Yeah, well, that's probably why they chose it, but for the people out there that don't play WoW, are they going to be really impressed by what they see? I mean, do you really get a sense of might and power when in these matches?
As anyone, I mean, you don't feel mighty in that game really at all, because to feel mighty, if I was a warrior and I wanted to feel mighty, I would run up and stab you in the head and you would die. In World of Warcraft, I run up, I stab you in the head about 72 times, and then you die.
What kind of action movie would that be?
I mean, they stand perfectly still facing each other, just trading blows for 10 minutes. Or better yet, they jump and spin in a circle, so they're now trying to get behind the guy. Jumping through them, of course. Spinning in a circle and then punching each other 100 times in a row. People will probably watch it for tactics and skill choices.
What I always was curious about World of Warcraft is that there's no, or correct me if I'm wrong, but in the PvP stuff, is there a commander role? Like, does anyone ever assume command of the battle? Because I think that would probably be like the most engaging part, because I would assume on those maps that you could easily win with good tactics.
I've been getting into the PvPing part, and yes, if you have a group that communicates and works together, you usually decimate the other team. But just like any other game, it's all dependent on if people are willing to listen or not. I've only been in, like, I honestly say, 2 or 3 different occasions where both sides used tactics and strategy, and you had really good matches. Usually, it's one side communicates and the other side is a bunch of kids that just want to run around, and little Timmy charging 10 guys. Everyone's just running at each other trying to get the last hit to get credit for the kill, and no one really cares about anything else that's going on. And when you play those kind of teams, 9 times out of 10, you pretty much annihilate them if you communicate even on the most basic grunting and pointing level.
Next topic.
Does anybody here know who Beat Takeshi is?
No.
You don't know who Beat Takeshi is? Takashi Kitano? His nickname is Beat. He's a Japanese movie star, director, comedian. He's really a really cool dude. Have you ever seen Battle Royale? The teacher in Battle Royale, that's Beat Takeshi. He's been in lots of gangster, all kinds of movies. And he once designed a video game for the Nintendo called Takeshi no Shozenju. And when you first turn this game on, this game was kind of his joke on the whole gaming community. The screen pops up and says, "This game is made by a man who hates video games." The game is basically a side-scroller where you basically beat everything senseless.
Like running down the street punching people. Dude, this sounds like a game I wouldn't mind playing.
In the game itself, once you get past the beating, he included some impossible tasks, or what he called impossible tasks. One thing he had was you had to hold a button down for 4 hours.
Wow. Were we talking about this? Like, if we were programmers, we would just put the most ridiculous achievements in there?
Hang on, let's go on here. That's just one of them. Another one, you had to defeat a boss by punching him 20,000 times.
Oh my god.
Another one was you had to... The screen basically goes blank, and you have to not touch the controller or do anything for about an hour or so.
So if you pick up the thing and hit like start, it's like, you lose!
Yeah, that's what it does.
This guy is honestly my new hero.
And another thing here is, I guess on the in the Japanese version of the controllers, the second one had a microphone, and in one part of the game, you have to do karaoke over and over and over again for about an hour. You had to sing into it or you'd lose.
Wow. This dude is honestly my new hero.
Wow.
That's brilliant. That is brilliant. Because I bet you, I'd be willing to put money on it that some dumbass sat there and actually did that.
You know, weren't you just sitting here the whole time trying to figure out ways around it? Like, I'm like, all right, I put that in front of my stereo for an hour. All right, this one, I would just like wait down the button with the book. All right, cool, I can get past that one.
Damn it, yes, I was doing that.
And so, there you go. Video Game Show episode number 40 for June 1st, 2007. Any Shattered Dream Pies or ham sandwiches for the world?
I'd like to give a ham sandwich and a Shattered Dream Pie to Titan Quest for being such an awesome game that I can't enjoy.
You can enjoy it. You can enjoy it in intervals.
Yes, in 45-minute to 1-hour intervals.
Can I do the same thing, but I can honestly say I can't enjoy it? I'd like to give a ham sandwich a Temple Dog for his picture of Shattered Dream Pie.
That is exactly how I picked Shattered Dream Pie. It's even the right color.
Words.
I like how he took the bloody font and made it look like tears.
I know. I like the little puff of cloud. It's all sad. I like his lip. Look at his lip.
frowny face.
Shattered dream pie tastes like
Shattered dreams.
And as always, send your comments, questions, queries, or concerns to the mailbag at vgs@gamercastnetwork.com. Call us at 320-300-GAME. That is a standard long-distance call. All normal fees apply. Or Skype us at Video Game Show. And for the outro song this week, here is a cover of Loverboy's Workin' for the Weekend by the band Fast Times, featuring lead vocals from Ivan's Girlfriend. Have you seen that in any games, Keith? Like in Madden?
Oh my god. Why? Why, Keith? Why? Why do you...
I send it! I didn't send it!
Who the hell sent it then? Oh, it was Ivan. God. God.
I'm not clicking.
Don't click on it, Tom.
You gotta do it. It's funny. Damn you, because you know damn well I'm gonna be having some nice dream tonight, and then all of a sudden in the bar, hey there, buddy, how you doing? Brandy. Have you seen my?
It's funny. You gotta click on it.
Because I haven't.
Just do it. It's funny. It's funny.
I like how I get scolded.
It is kind of funny. Dude, it said post stuff intensity, and I was like, who else send this?
Oh, okay, good point.